Hola, buenos días. Me llamo Señor Bellis, soy gringo y hablo español. En este video les voy a enseñar cómo formar los mandatos de nosotros. We are going to form nosotros commands in Spanish. So saying things like let's go or let's eat this or let's watch that. So these are commands for Spanish. If you have already learned how to do usted and ustedes commands, this is going to be really easy for you. Because the irregularities and stuff like that are pretty much almost exactly the same for Nosotros commands as they are for those. So what we'll do is we'll just start off with an easy one. I guess think of, when you're doing these commands, think two things. One, think yo form, and two, think opposites. What I mean by that is, well, let's take a verb, let's give you some regular verbs first. So the command for hablar, for example, for nosotros. So if I want to say let's speak, I would just say hablemos. If I want to say let's run, correr, an ER verb. I'm going to go opposite, corramos. And then vivir, let's live somewhere. Vivamos in Las Vegas or something. So if you remember usted or ustedes commands, we went opposites. So like vivir for the usted command was viva. Well, nosotros command is going to be vivamos. And then an AR verb to go to E. So like a command for hablar for usted would be hable. And then for the ustedes commands, hablemos. Now, just a second ago, I said think yo form. Why do you want to think yo form? Well, let's take maybe tener, for example. The yo form of tener is tengo. You're going to form your command from that. So let's have something be tengamos. I'll give you a couple more examples. Venir would be vengamos, salir, salgamos, traer, traigamos, hacer, hagamos. So think yo form for those ones. There are a few that don't follow the whole yo form pattern. I'm going to give those to you right now. One is dar, because the yo form of dar is doy. You don't use that to form the command. So the command for dar is demos, estar, estemos, saber, sepamos, ser, seamos. And one more I'm going to give you is the verb ir. Ir, if you want to say let's not go somewhere, you're going to say no vayamos a la escuela, for example. However, if you want to do a nosotros command and you want to make an affirmative command, you're not going to use vayamos, you're just going to say vamos. So like vamos a la escuela, vamos a la tienda. So in a negative command for ir, you say no vayamos. For an affirmative command for ir, use vamos. Let me give you a couple examples here with cargar zar verbs. Yes, these have come back again. So with a car verb, maybe tocar, the nosotros command would be toquemos. You got to change the C to a QU to keep the K sound of tocar. The zar verb will do comenzar. Yes, comenzar is a boot verb. However, since it's nosotros, it's outside of the boot, don't have to worry about it. So the command would be comencemos, change the Z to a C. And one more, we have jugar. You got to do something to keep the G sound of jugar, so it'll be juguemos. Now, I said a second ago, don't worry about the boot verb thing, but one thing you do need to think about, and this is hard, this can become difficult to remember because there's a lot to remember with these nosotros commands. Any verb that is a sandal verb in the preterite or an IR boot verb in the present tense, whichever works better for you, has, well, let's go with the sandal verb in the preterite. If you have a verb that's a sandal verb in the preterite, you know what the changes is. So like say servir, for example, and the preterite goes to sirvió, or pedir goes to pidió, morir murió, repetir goes to repitió. All those verbs that have that one change in it, you keep that change in the nosotros command. All right, sorry about that transition there. I got interrupted. Anyway, the verbs that are sandal verbs in the preterite, keep that change in the nosotros command. So pedir, which goes to PID in the preterite, you keep that I change. So the nosotros command for pedir would be pidamos. For dormir would be durmamos. Repetir would be repitamos. And I thought I had another example, but I guess I don't. So sandal verbs in the preterite also have the change in the nosotros commands. I also want to give you one more thing, and then I'll give you a little quiz. With reflexive verbs, we have to do two things here. If it's a negative command, no problem, because remember that negative commands, you do not attach any pronouns to it. So say I have the verb levantarse, I want to say let's not get up right now, I'd say no nos levantemos. However, if I give an affirmative command with a reflexive verb, two things have to happen. One, I attach the pronoun, the nos, to the end of the verb. Two, there's going to be a spelling change as well. And it's likely that you actually already know the spelling change because you've probably heard someone use a nosotros command with a reflexive pronoun before. I'll point it out to you in a second. So you have the verb levantarse. If we just do the levantar by itself first, the command would be levantemos. Now I have to attach the nos to the levantemos if it's an affirmative command. However, I'm not going to have levantemos nos. What's going to happen is I'm going to drop the s off of the levantemos. So the command is going to be levantémonos with an accent mark over the e, levantémonos. Notice I dropped the s off the levantemos. And I said a second ago, you've heard this before, and you've heard it before probably when someone has said, let's go, vámonos, vámonos. Remember that an affirmative command for ir is just vamos. You can use ir as irse, which is kind of like saying to leave or to go. So I could say vámonos. I drop the s off the vamos, add the nos, vámonos, accent mark over the a. I'll give you a few more examples. Ducharse would be duchémonos. Poner would be pongámonos, because poner, the euphemism is pongo. So pongámonos. Levantarse, I'm sorry, and then I guess that's it. They're all the same anyway. So drop the s off of the levantemos, add the nos, levantémonos. That's how reflexive verb works. So what I'm going to do for you is I think I'll put on the screen here 12 verbs, and I want you to give me the command for it. And then come back and I'll give you the answers and see if you're right. Here we go. Okay, so here come your answers. The nosotros command for hablar would be hablemos. Comunicar would be comuniquemos. Hopefully change that C to a QU. Lavarse would be lavémonos. Conocer, hopefully you thought of the yo form, would be conozcamos. Conservar would be conservemos. Recoger, I threw this one there because I did not teach you something yet, and I want to teach it to you now. So recoger would be pronounced recojamos. However, if you kept it spelled with a G, it'd be change the pronunciation to recogamos. So I gotta do something to the G. What I'm gonna do to it is change it to a J. So recojamos with a J is how you do that verb. Ir, I said earlier, would be vamos. No ir would be no vayamos. Botar would just be botemos. Ponerse la ropa, I gave you this to you a second ago, would be pongámonos la ropa. Lavarse would be lavémonos. And dormirse would be durmámonos, because it's a standard verb in the preterite, and you also have the reflexive pronoun as well. So I hope I went over everything with you. There's a lot of stuff that goes into nosotros commands, but again, it's not too hard because you've done probably usted and ustedes commands before, so it's very similar. A lot of the irregularities are very similar, so hopefully it's not too hard for you. If you need more practice, more explanation, let me know and I'll get back to you.